Hey everybody, this is Pete Martin from AskMyBoard. This is the first in a multi-series set of content to help you improve your business from top to bottom. We're all about helping you grow your business with less money, less effort than you're putting in today. And so this particular topic is called Sell at the Top. And it's just a primer. We have a lot more information about this, but there'll be more than enough content for you to be able to take this and make it very actionable and to work on your business starting tomorrow. So the question is, are you really going to sell your business? Why focus on selling it? Well, it's kind of interesting. When you think about it, when you sell any other personal asset of yours, whether it's a house, a car, anything, it typically forces you to clean it up and to focus on the areas that maybe you overlooked before. And so you selling your house, maybe you start to clean up that attic that's kind of messy, that basement, you clean out the garage, you paint the front door. They're all things that you probably should have been doing anyway, honestly. But that particular penultimate event is the thing that really drives you to kind of focus on it, and get it ready before you're going to sell it. And it's the same exact thing with your business, which is an asset, right? And so every time we took a business owner through this process and really made them think from an outside-in perspective, it improved their business dramatically. And in many cases, the business owner who was going to sell, that the business became fun again and more profitable than it had ever been, and they ended up not selling. And so the point is not about if you're going to sell your business or not. The point is about focusing on your business and making it healthier than it is today, letting it grow faster, more profitably with less investment. And there's an interesting quote in a story by Mark Benioff, who's the co-chief CEO and founder of Salesforce.com. And he talked about going public. And when they took Salesforce.com public, he said it was really a cleansing process. They really focused on getting their house in order because they knew they were going to have all these external shareholders really digging into the business. And this is essentially the same thing. And this drives massive benefits when you do this. It creates sales growth that hopefully will outpace your competitors and outpace the market. It helps you focus on your customers in a way that provides more profitable customers and products and services for whatever markets that you're in. We're really going to focus a lot on this multi-3-point series about driving predictable and consistent revenue and profits. And this is a huge factor for potentially selling your business. This is something that every potential acquirer wants to see. We're also going to focus a segment on creating happier customers that create less problems for you. And if we create happier customers, we know over the long term, those should be more profitable customers, and we'll be focusing on that. And we're also, by focusing on your business before any exit might happen, it helps you make sure that you have the best, top performing, most engaged team across the board as well, which should deliver higher quality results, which ultimately, frankly, should make you more money, and you deserve that. You started this business, it was your vision, it was your dream, and you need to make sure that you're getting return for it, right? Or you can just go get a job doing something else. Running a business is not easy. And ultimately, focusing on all of these items that we're going to talk about in just a second will create a more valuable company for you with less time and less worries and just a better life as an entrepreneur. So when I talk about we focusing on this, who is the we? So this is a community of founders that we have all started multiple businesses. Most of us that are part of the community of founders have sold our companies at least one or a couple times for millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, in some cases over $100 million. And we are all committed to making sure that we are helping entrepreneurs to avoid the potholes that we made, to avoid the mistakes that we went through, and to put your business in a place that you can truly realize your vision and really help you grow. That's what we're committed to doing. And these are just a few of the folks that are part of our team that provide a lot of this content, the lessons, and become part of your virtual advisory board. And this list continues to grow every week, every month, as other successful entrepreneurs get excited about the kinds of things that we're doing and the kind of help that we're trying to give to entrepreneurs like you. So let's talk about selling your business. So when you sell your business, if you ever sell your business, at the end of the day, it is about them, the buyer, not about you as a seller. Why do I say that? Because it's your job as an entrepreneur, if you ever go through this process, to help them visualize and justify the benefit of buying you. So they can put their capital anywhere else, right? They can invest it in marketing, more sales, higher production, whatever it is, whatever industry you're in. And so they have to be convinced that putting their capital to acquiring you will give them an outsized return on their investment versus any other thing they can do. And so once they get to that point that they feel it's a justifiable investment vis-a-vis any other places they can put their money, then it's also your job to reduce the risk to as close as possible for them, right? That you want to make sure that there is low risk in buying you, again, versus any other type of a place that they could put their capital. Number three, kind of directly related to reducing the risk, is eliminating any blind spots. And what I mean by that is they don't want any surprises during the due diligence phase, during the acquisition phase, and after they buy you as well. There is a notion called an indemnification holdback. And what that means, if you're not familiar with that, and if you've never been through an acquisition, is that your buyer is going to put money aside that you don't get at closing, and that could be anywhere from 10% to 20% of the purchase price, that they're going to hold in escrow for 12 to 18 to up to 36 months. And those monies are used to pay off any potential claims that might come about that they weren't aware of, that you didn't disclose. And it could be product warranty issues, it could be employee issues, it could be lawsuits from suppliers from anywhere. So those monies are held aside. So it's part of your job to make sure that that doesn't happen and you're going to get your money sooner, and that you're going to get 100% of those dollars. So eliminating any of those blind spots, it's really, really important if you go through this process. And at the end of the day, making the deal easy. You make the deal easy by having everything in order, right? So just like going back to painting your house, getting everything cleaned up, getting a pre-home inspection, whatever those things are, it's the same thing with your business, that you have contracts with employees, you have all of your customer contracts as well, and they all foot out with the way that your financial statements read, and that your house is in good order. And that helps make the deal easy. So let's shift to why someone might buy you. What is the motivation for using their capital to invest in you versus maybe any other place they're going to put it? And this is in priority order from how you're going to get the highest price to potentially the lowest price. So the best opportunity, the best motivation for a buyer to buy your business is that it's a strategic growth opportunity, and that there is this, overused word of synergy. So what does that mean? So what that means is that if you take your products and services and you add them to their products and services, then they have a market offering that is better than anything that's in the marketplace. So it's not just this complementary fit. It is truly that combining both products and services, it makes it stronger. So as an example, maybe you provide warranty support or service for a product in an industry that typically is put out to the to maybe a distribution type of set of channels and channel partners. And so by acquiring you, they have then an end-to-end offering for the product, the warranty, the service, and everything else, all in one bundle. Okay, just a small example. Coca-Cola started buying up their bottlers many years ago, because then they could offer the retailers and all of the customers that they had truly an end-to-end solution from the product all the way through the distribution. So that was a great synergistic effect for them. So that's where you're going to get the highest price, is if there's truly this synergy, and again, where they get to take advantage of all of the products and services you have, and it makes their offerings much, much stronger. The second, and fairly closely related, motivation they might have in buying you that drives up a pretty high price is that they can grow their top line and potentially bottom line through access to your products and customers. So maybe they have some complementary products and services that are really good fit for the customer markets that you're in, or the product markets that you're in, and vice versa. And so it's a great way for them with, they could either go to market faster because you've already got an existing customer base, so they're selling their products into your customer base, than if they were to go hire a field sales force and all the marketing investment to go have to build that up over time. So it's probably the second highest way you can get the highest price for your business. The third one is they've recognized some unrealized opportunity to grow your company. And however they come to that conclusion, they decide that maybe they believe that your company is being undermanaged, that through their customer base, their marketing efforts, their sales efforts, that they can take your offerings and take it into the marketplace perhaps more efficiently or faster than perhaps you can on your own. And then the fourth one, and we're really attempting to try to keep you out of this situation, which is it's a turnaround opportunity, that your business is not well, it's not healthy, and they're going to come in and they're going to buy up the assets, not assume the liabilities, and they're going to take that and they're going to turn it around. And if there's enough there in your business, either through the customer base or the products or some intellectual property, that they can take advantage of that and get a return on their money that way. Okay? So getting the best price, we kind of hit on this a little bit, but in terms of the characteristics that they might look for in your business, that regardless of those four motivations for a buyer buying your business, that will help you drive the highest price are: number one, if you're growing, and not just growing 1 to 2 to single-digit % per year, but you're growing faster than the market. So if you're growing faster than your competitors, you're picking up market share. It doesn't matter whether the industry is growing or it's declining or it's flat. If you're growing faster and picking up market share, that's something that an acquirer wants to see. And preferably, you're doing that with consistent and predictable revenues. So many businesses are transaction-oriented businesses. It's a one-time transaction. You may never have a transaction with that customer again. It depends on what market you're in, but the better job you can do of creating a very consistent and predictable revenue base, either because you have a pipeline of being able to bring in prospects, convert them through to being customers, and then service them afterwards. That's the kind of stuff that's going to drive a much higher price if you go to sell your business. And hopefully you do this with profitable customers. And it's important to be able to have the financial details to be able to assess whether your customers are in fact profitable, and that your your largest customers in particular are profitable. And any kind of a acquirer is going to want to see that. Sometimes it's difficult to pull out, but the better job you can do of really understanding the profitability at a customer level and market segment and product level, the easier it's going to be to identify potentially opportunities where you can make more money. If you have products and services that have some kind of IP protection or some kind of positive brand reputation, that also contributes to the valuation that you can drive for your company. So if you've got a really solid reputation in the marketplace for your products and your services, you give great customer service, that's really important stuff, because they are basically assuming whatever brand you've identified and established in the marketplace onto them when they acquired the company. If you have IP protections or patents and trademarks or whatever, and they are defensible, it obviously also adds to the valuation you can get for your company. And then most importantly, all this is done through a go-to-market strategy that is repeatable and scalable. So we always think about, from an acquisition perspective, that you want to pour gasoline on the fire, meaning you're growing your business with profitable revenue, profitable customers, you have a good reputation in the market, and you just simply don't have enough capital to scale it. But you know that if you add in $1 worth of capital, you'll get $2 or $4 or $8 out of the back end in new revenue and or profits. And that, from the perspective of an acquisition, opens you up as an opportunity to just about any company in any kind of capital source, from another company, a strategic buyer, to a private equity firm, to venture capital, to you name it. You become this platform for which you just add dollars in and you drive profitability and dollars out. Now, price and terms preferably get negotiated at the same time, but in most cases they don't. And so there is a difference between maybe getting the highest price and maybe getting the best terms. So the best terms for you, the entrepreneur, and for us when we sold our businesses, is where the business can exist without you. So I grew up in a family-owned business. My father owned a small manufacturing company. And when he was getting ready to retire and he wanted to sell the business, he tried for a long time to sell the business, and there really were no takers. And so he asked for my help. So at the very young age of, I was in my 20s, I helped him sell the business. And what was abundantly clear to me is the reason that he couldn't sell the business is that he was the business. He was the salesman. He was the CEO. He was the finance guy. He knew all the manufacturing processes cold. And even though he had people working for him, without him, the business would not be the same. And so we really worked over the course of a year, making sure we could extract him in some of those really key roles. And we were only able to sell the business because we did that. So it's a function of both your ability to sell for a higher price and better terms, and for you to be able to exit the business and still be able to sell the company. So if you are the business, then you better be prepared when you sell your business to work for that acquirer for a period of time. And it could be from 1 year to 3 years. Now, if you love what you do and you love the business, that's perfectly fine for most entrepreneurs. Many entrepreneurs want to put a very short time frame on what's called an earnout period, so they can go enjoy the fact that they exited the business. So it's important to make sure that you put the structure in place with your team and your operations that they can exist without you. They also, when they want to know that your team is aligned and engaged. So when you go through the due diligence process, they're going to dig deep into who are the people that are running this business. And whether it's a manufacturing business, it's a services business, it's consultants, it's whoever is on your team, they're going to want to make sure that they are engaged, active, and that they're going to be loyal. So, to a large degree, a company is just a collection of people. And without the people, the value of the company goes down significantly. So they're going to want to make sure that those folks on your team are fully engaged and are going to stay with the business if an exit happens. And this is critically important for whether you sell the business or not. You need to have your team aligned and engaged. And you can feel it when you walk into a company. There's a certain energy when a team is just engaged, and you can just feel it. And so they're going to look for that. Of course, that your customers love you. So a huge value in buying any business is the customer base, in addition to the products and the people, of course. But at the end of the day, the customers are driving the revenue. So if you've driven up customer loyalty, and we have a whole session on this coming up here in this series, and how you measure that, that is a huge factor in the best terms you're going to get, because they're going to want to make sure that all of those customers come over in the business, and you're not going to get the best terms, and there's going to be holdback monies in the event that all those customers don't come over. And then finally, and we chatted about this previously, but there are no hidden secrets or liabilities. They're going to dig deep when they do due diligence into pretty much every part of your business. And they're not just going to talk to the folks internal to your company. They're going to talk to your customers. They're going to talk to suppliers. They're going to talk to people in the marketplace. And so you need to make sure that there are no hidden secrets, and that anything that is a potential liability or an issue with the company, it's okay. Every business has some problems. You just need to be transparent about them and put them on the table pretty much from the very beginning, and make sure that that factors into all of the conversations about terms for both price and how the contract is constructed. So just to dig a little bit deeper on valuation price considerations, The way that you get the highest price for your business, again, regardless of what market you're in, whether it's flat, it's declining, it's rising, they want to know that the business is growing. Preferably, if you are growing in a sector that is also growing and you're growing faster than the market or faster than your competitors, that is a huge leverage point for increasing the potential valuation, because then they can project out what they think the revenue is going to be in 1, 2, 3, 5 years and build their business case around that. So if the market's growing and you're growing, that automatically then computes in potentially a higher valuation. They're going to look at your historical revenue growth over 3 to 5 years and maybe longer than that. And what they want to see, again, is that you're growing faster than the industry, or if you had some down years, that's okay. They're going to want an explanation why it was a down year and what you've done, or vice versa, what you've done to either improve the growth, or that if you're having some issues now, that they understand that maybe there's some situations that you can't control that are creating that, and that's going to factor into the valuation and the price. Same thing with the revenue makeup. If you have a recurring set of revenues that you wake up on January 1st and you already know X amount of revenue is booked for the year, that is a huge factor and lever point in getting a higher price when you negotiate. They're going to look at deal size and win rates and what's your conversion of a prospect to a customer. What is your share of wallet? So if you sell into a segment that customers buy other things in and around what you're selling, they're going to want to see what percentage of that wallet that you get. So if you're getting a small percentage and they can walk in and pick up a bunch of other percentage of that wallet share, if you will, through their products and services or other companies' products and services, that's a huge advantage. If you're getting 100% of the share of wallet in whatever market you're in, then there's somewhat limited growth beyond at least the existing customer base. They're looking at intellectual property. Do you have anything that's protectable? And a lot of businesses do not, and they want to make sure that even if you do have patents, that there are no claims against it, the patent is legitimate, hasn't expired, and that it's important. And a lot of businesses will have patents that cover something very small. So they're going to want to see how important it is to the core business. They're going to want to look at the growth opportunities. So, what is the real upline potential for this company that's buying you? Is it through new products? Is it the combination of your product and theirs? Can they take your products into new markets, either outside the US or some other market or whatever country that you're in? And can they sell their products into existing customers? So what specifically are those growth opportunities? And the more you can help them understand the growth opportunities from acquiring you, the better chance you have of levering up a higher price. They're going to look at your customer relationships. Is your business transactional? Is it long-term? Does the product or service that you sell, is it embedded to the customer's operations? Meaning, if you rip out what you're doing from that customer, they can't function. Or the ability for them, the switching cost, if you will, are super high from maybe another type of product that you sell. So those customer relationships and the nature of them are really important to driving up price or driving down price based on exactly what that looks like. From a brand reputation and recognition perspective, they're going to look at, do you have a great reputation in the market? And if you do, and they can leverage that, I've seen situations where, in fact, the business that one of the businesses I sold to KPMG, we actually had the best reputation for what we were doing specifically in that market. And they went out and they talked to a lot of people, prospects, and customers that we lost. And in those cases, it wasn't a function of we had a bad reputation. It was we were significantly higher than our competitor, and that customer decided to go elsewhere. And so the more and better brand recognition you have, it's going to drive up a higher price. Are there cross-sell, upsell opportunities? And this is back to the growth opportunities. Can they take your products and sell their products on an upsell basis? Or can they cross-sell other products and services from them, from their business into yours or your business into theirs? They're going to look at the dominant market segments. So meaning if you're in an industry where you have one slice of the pie that you're going after, then that's much, much better than if you've got a large portion of a fairly large market that really is only made up of one segment. And so the more segments there are, the more ways to divvy up the pie and grow it across those different segments, the better opportunity you have of driving up a higher price. They're also going to look at this go-to-market machine, what I call the go-to-market machine. And that's what we talked about previously, which is if you have this consistent way that you approach business, that every month, every week, every day, you go to market in a consistent way. And so you know, if you put in that dollar worth of capital, you're going to get $2, $5, $10 out of the back end. That is a huge lever point for driving up the best valuation of the company. Okay, so think about all these as it relates to your business. There's a lot of stuff here. All of these will factor in some way, somehow, into a potential acquisition from, or even a potential investment from a private equity firm. But I think picking a couple of these and really focusing on them is important as it relates to helping to grow your business. And then create a scorecard around those things that you want to measure. So about a year and a half before we sold our business, we knew that we were going to go down this path. And so it's not that we didn't measure the business before, but we started driving a company-wide scorecard on those factors that we thought would be most important to any potential acquirer for us. And so when we measured this stuff company-wide, we'd have a formal review every month, but we track this thing pretty much every week. And so we wanted to make sure that we were focused on all those items that we knew would drive up the valuation of the company. And as we did that, whether we sold the business or not, we had a much, much healthier business. And it was just a heck of a lot more fun. So tomorrow, your to-do list is to pick one of these on this list and just begin to think about applying it to your business. And if you were an outsider looking in very objectively at your company, what would be the things that would excite you about the business? What would be the things that would concern you about your business? And picking one off for the month or for the quarter and really focusing very heavily on it. And we'll talk about segment number 2 here in a second, but part of Ask My Board is really helping you through all of those pieces done on a very, very strategic and piece-by-piece basis, helping you to tune up every part of your business over the course of time. So as part of this series, we've had lots of questions come up about membership and Ask My Board. And so the first one that always comes up was, how are you guys different than all the other gurus out there? Well, first of all, we're not gurus. We are just experienced business owners and entrepreneurs, this community of founders that have decades of experience of starting from scratch, scaling, growing, building our businesses. And in all cases, we've all been able to sell our businesses at least once, if not multiple times. And those experiences are what we bring to you. So we don't claim to be a guru. We've got a community of founders that have strengths across pretty much every aspect of business, from marketing to finance to sales to operations. And we're here to be your virtual advisory board to help you get across those, through those issues and across and over those potholes. Another thing that comes up all the time is, isn't this just another training program where, we're the only ones that make money, and not you? So it's a fair question, because there are lots of training programs out there, marketing programs. My gosh, you go on the web and you search anything, and there are millions, literally, if you Google it, there are millions and millions of growth business training programs that are out there. And a lot of them, many, many, many of them, are from folks who've actually never started a business or never grown a business, or they're consultants. And so everything that they talk about is consultant-ease. They've never actually had to apply to their business, get out their wallet, get out their checks, spend money on whatever that particular set of advice that they're giving, and figure out if it works or not. This is all we've ever done, is we have taken all the advice we've gotten from all kinds of sources, and we've applied it to our business and figured out what actually works. Another question that comes up is, look, I only have one serious problem right now, and more sales is typically the one that comes up. Just help me with that. So there's a lot of segments as part of Ask My Board that focus on sales growth, and all kinds of different tactics and strategies and tools around driving sales growth. But the fact of the matter is, a business is more than just sales, and there are lots of complicating and complex factors that all impact sales growth. And so it reminded me of, I love to golf, but I'm not very good, and it takes so much time. And I went and took lessons, and this is about I don't know, 10 years ago. I basically said, fix me, help me golf better. And the instructor who I had was horrible. And he said, well, we're going to focus on your grip. We're going to focus on your swing. We're going to focus on your stand. And it was like 15 different things. And after 30 minutes, I just said, this is insane. I can't focus on all that stuff. I'm not going to do that. And I got a new instructor. And over the course of a year, we focused on one thing at a time. And we focused on it until I got it right. And that's exactly what we're going to do with you. We're going to take one thing at a time. We're going to make it very actionable. And then when you've mastered that, we're going to move you on to the next thing. And so over the course of time, you are going to tune up your business just like you would your golf game, your health, your fitness, your relationships, whatever it is, till it's really, really maximized and optimized. Another question is, I'm a small but growing business. You guys, almost all of us have sold to big companies. We have guys that have taken their companies public. Most of us have sold to public entities. Will your ideas work for me? And the answer is absolutely. So we all started with nothing. We started our businesses out of the garage, out of the basement, whatever metaphor. But none of us went in and bought companies and scaled them from there. We all, specifically when we built this community of founders, we wanted to find people that started from scratch and built and scaled their companies. And so everything we've done is focused on companies with limited resources, limited investment, and we know that you're running the business on a day-to-day basis, so anything that's actionable has to be done within context. You have a full-time job too. And then the last one is, I love what I do. I don't want to sell my business. So you don't have to sell your business. But as we said, if you're selling your asset, a house, a car, or whatever, and you fix it up and then you decide not to sell it, it doesn't really matter. You now have a better asset than you did before. And that's the point of Ask My Board, is to get you to a place where your business is more profitable, it's growing predictably, it's more fun, and it's driving more money for you. And it's giving you the quality of life as an entrepreneur to fulfill the vision that you originally had in the first place. So that's it for this segment. The next segment that's coming up is called Creating Your Growth Playbook. And this was something that we put together many, many years ago, almost 10 years ago now, and we've refined it over really about the last 8 to 10 years. And it's essentially creating a recipe for how you go to market with a very simple, practical, usable approach that you can use to make your business more repeatable and scalable, and get that consistency and predictability to your business, so that every month you're not trying to figure out how you're going to bring sales in the door, create prospects. You just have this formula, and you tweak it over time, clearly, but you have this core set of tactics and strategies that you deploy that makes your business very consistent and predictable. So look forward to segment number 2. And our mission is to help other entrepreneurs like you grow your businesses with less money, less time, and resulting in more free time for you and more money in your pocket, hopefully. And so we think that we have uncommon advice, uncommon results. We're not a bunch of consultants that just are going to give you consultant ease with a bunch of tired old principles. We're here to give you proven, practical, innovative strategies and tactics to help you grow your business. So don't grow alone. Get engaged with social media, get engaged with our community, and we look forward to seeing you in segment 2.